Greetings, minions, potential and future YouTubers and fellow gamers. This is Silverblade, and I am making a video showing how I record my video game footage and also how I take that video game footage and turn it into a almost tolerable to watch video for YouTube. So let's get cracking. So we'll switch windows here. Okay, so I'm at my desktop, and the first thing I'm going to show you is Dxtory. So this is what I use to do recordings. Pretty simple, a lot of fun. I have covered this before in a previous video that I had done about a year ago, I believe, and not much has really changed since then. There has been changes to how I record, but it's been more changes in how I edit and render than what I did a year ago. So I'm just going to quickly go over what I got as my settings. Now, if you copy these settings exactly, it might work for you, but you might have to tweak it depending on the make of your computer. If you have multiple cores, if you have a certain video card or anything like that, you might have to make some changes. But this is how I have it set up, and that works for me. So this basically puts, if you've seen my videos, and I hope you have, you see the game footage in here, and then in the upper left corner you'll see a number, and that's the frames per second, and that just shows you while you're recording. Now I have this set so I could see it as a visual to know that I actually pressed the record button instead of forgetting, and I can look at it and know right off that it's recording. It also will tell me some kind of diagnostic issues, say if the game's running too hard on my video card, or dropping frames and stuff like that. It just helps me get a handle on what may be going on, and maybe if I have to tweak settings within the game itself to make the game play better. So as you can see here, I got video FPS checked, record status, non-recording status color. So to me it's green. You guys never see this because it's always, well, red. But when I'm not recording, it's green. When I am recording, it's red. Makes it so much easier to tell if you're recording or not. And trust me, there's been many times where I thought I recorded an episode, did 30 minutes, nothing was recorded because I hit the wrong key. It happens. Okay, over here, this is where you would select where you're going to put the video files when you're recording them. I would recommend that you have one drive for your operating system and at least one drive just for your video captures. Now, to set that up, you just click this icon here. You get access to your drives on your computer. Now I have Windows 7 on my C drive, which is my operating system drive. I have another drive, my game drive. That's what all my game installs are put onto. And then I have a video storage drive. And this is where my video files go to in the video captures directory. Now I have a G drive, which it's a external hard drive that I copy files from my E drive to. It's an archive. So I store my files on here before I move them over to my bigger external hard drive, my 4 terabyte Buffalo. So basically for this here, you're setting where your video files are going to go. And like I said, I recommend that you put it on a separate drive than your operating system. It will prevent skipping, it will prevent drop frames, that kind of thing. Now what you want to do after you've selected a destination is you'll want to click the benchmark. Now I have this set up to 10,000. If you use Dxtory, and I'm using an older version, it'll be at 1,000. So what you do is you click run, and basically it's doing a read-write check on the drive, and it's telling you the average amount of data per second that it can handle. And right now mine is averaging well, it's going down now, but it's because I have such a large number selected. So I could stop that. I usually prefer to keep it around 350 for this particular drive. Drives vary. Some are faster, and in particular with my drives, they're solid state drives. No moving parts, it's all like memory, as opposed to a hard drive which has spinning platters. Regular old school hard drives usually run slower. You'll probably get them between, say, 50 megabytes a second up to maybe 100, maybe peak out at 140 megabytes a second. That's for a real good drive, and that's even for like hybrid drives that are kind of a merge of the two. I have SSDs. This is actually considered slow by SSD standards. They say on the make and model for my particular SSD, an Adobe Premiere, that I should be getting 500 plus. Well, not everything works as what it says on the tin, but 360, 350 is actually pretty good for my computer, and that's what it's at. And that just basically makes sure that the data is getting on there fast enough, because you don't want it bottlenecking. Alright, so the next tab. This here will let you know, well, it will let you select and then know what key to hit to start recording and stop recording. In my case, in most of the games I play, I never really use the minus key on the numpad, and so I use that to start and stop the movie capture. Now there's also options here: push to talk, doing a screenshot, all this other stuff, and I don't really mess with those. Okay, so you might want to look at other YouTube videos about these specific features. I don't really think many people really use them. I could be wrong. Right here, again, like I said, num for that, and just one hit, and then one hit again, and that's it. Okay, now this is the technical part. This is where things start getting a little complicated and a little crazy. To use the same codec that I use, you'll have to look up Lagarith lossless codec. Just do a Google search. It's usually one of the top 2 searches you'll find. Download it, install it to your computer. This is what I use for my video captures. It's lossless. They're pretty large files, but they don't have any real degradation. But you'll end up with huge ass files. Now this is the configuration setup for that codec. I use multi-threading and YV12. There's several different ones here, but you know, I just seen this in someone else's video and use it, and it's not steered me wrong since. These here you don't really have to mess with. I set my frame rate at 30 frames per second, and I think this is what gets coded to the video. Excuse me for the indigestion. Output is the file output, so it makes it out to a file. File format is AVI. Raw cap will be even huger than an AVI. Include the mouse cursor so that you can actually see a cursor on the screen. Include overlay. I have it ticked, but it really doesn't seem to do anything for me. Basically, this might actually be the thing that's killing my overlay from Steam. So when I'm playing and recording, I don't get any messages from friends of mine on Steam or anything like that. It isn't until I exit the game and go into Steam that I actually see them. So it kind of nukes Steam's overlay within the game for me. This might be the little culprit there. Synchronized video FPS. I've tried this option before. If it, there's the. Let's see, get back up there again. If you have issues, you might want to tick that. Now for scaling, I used to record in 480p, and the reason for that was I didn't have the hard drives that I have now. I had very, very little space, so I recorded in 480p, smaller video, smaller file size. Since I've got this new hard drive, I am up to 720p, which is high def, and I'm getting for a on the average for a 30-minute video, between 20 and 25 gigabyte files, and it fluctuates depending on how much action is going on the screen. Various things like that. That'll change the file size, but I've been doing this. It's been doing pretty good by me. You can do it. I do it specifically by size, but you can also go by percentage. Also, note up here, and you'll see this on every single one of these windows except for that one. The use default setting. So if I went up here to default, this is the all default when I start up a new game. As you can see, there's some games right there. Basically, what will happen is the game will set it up, and then it'll run through default setting automatically. Now, if you have a game that doesn't like the default settings, or if, say, you want to do one game in 720p and another in, say, 1080p, you would untick this under the specific game. Say, like 7 Days to Die, you would untick this, and you could put in your own settings across all of this. So that way you can kind of have one game do one thing and another game do another, or if there's issues, you can kind of get around them that way. So hopefully that explains this. For the margins, I think that just kind of shifts the video around or crops it, that kind of thing. Audio. Now this one is kind of a touchy thing. Alright, first of all, as you see, I have two audio channels. This is the audio stream 1 is my headphones. Basically, this is the setting for game audio coming out. So whatever sounds are coming from your game, or if you have music or anything like that, it's going to be coming through one channel. Now you can click this and add a plethora of channels to it. I like to keep things simple. So in this case here, channel 1, PCM 48,000 hertz or 48 kilohertz, 24-bit stereo. It's pretty decent, and it keeps the file sizes relatively modest. I'm not on a professional grade headphone or microphone, and the sounds coming from my computer are all okay by me. So you don't need to go super crazy like that. It'll just make your file sizes unnecessarily large. So this is for audio from the game, music, whatever. So channel 2 is for my microphone. I keep it the same setting as my game sounds, and this is what my voice is being recorded on. So it basically embeds these two audio tracks into the video. So you have the video and two separate audio tracks playing simultaneously, my voice, my game voice, or my game sounds. Now when it makes the video, though, some video players can't do both channels at the same time. I'll get more into that a little bit later. Okay, so this here is just for screenshots. You can play around with this if you want. Personally, when I do screenshots, I do it through Steam, because then I can upload it to Steam directly and share it with everybody without having to find it and upload it. It's just boom, done. So I don't really mess with the screenshots through Dxtory. Now this is the advanced settings. This is my setup. Now I have an FX 6300 AMD processor, so 6 cores, but I have it set to process on 3 cores or 3 threads. This way it's not hogging up resources that the game could be using to flow smoothly. If you have an 8-core computer, you might want to go halvesies and have 4 threads. If you have a 4-core computer, do 2. I would not recommend using all of your threads for that. If you have a single-core computer, then God help you, because I have a single-core computer, and I mean, it's ancient by now. So most people have at least a dual-core computer, and I would recommend at least going by half of what you got. If you don't know what you got, Basically, if you go, let's see, Windows key and E, and then right-click on Computer Properties, it'll show you right here, AMD FX 6300 6-core processor. Right there, it tells you. So that's one way of finding out. But let's not get too ahead of ourselves here. For CPU processing, GPU load is decreased by doing this GPU processing with the CPU. You might want to try that. You might not. This seems to work for me. One thing you may want to check is permanent hook. What this means is when you say you start 7 Days to Die or Empyrean and you're at the game menu at the very beginning when it loads. If you don't have the permanent hook on and you're trying to record showing your settings for a new run of a game, just getting into it, if you don't have the permanent hook on, at least with this version of Dxtory, it'll show you the loading menu and it'll record the loading screen, and then when it gets in the game, it'll stop recording. Or it may. It doesn't always do this, but it may stop recording. It's because it's not keeping a hook with the game. It's hooked to that particular screen because it's under a different file name in the game directory. But if you keep it hooked, it'll transition from loading screen to the game. It doesn't always work when it's permanently hooked like this, but this way here it's more likely to keep it from splitting up your video into a bunch of different chunks or stopping right on you when you're trying to keep one solid video. At least this is how I interpret it, and I could be wrong. If I am, please comment about it in the comment section below so that you can share it to others so that they're not misinformed by my stupidity. Okay? Alright, so that's what I have for settings here, and also you had it limited, but now I don't. So I wouldn't recommend playing with this, especially if it's anything lower than 30, because 30 is like the low minimum right now. A lot of people like to play at 60, but don't do this because what it'll actually do is slow down your frames per second in game to this maximum. You kind of don't want to do that. Okay, so global settings. I don't have it check updates. I don't like when programs automatically check updates because they do it at the worst frickin' time, especially when you're in a game, and it'll boot you out of a game sometimes. So I don't check for updates on any program. I manually do it. Show task tray icon, that would be this right here. Hide taskbar button when minimized. So, see, it's not down here. I got OBS recording this video, but doosh right there. So that's all I have for that setup. Alright, now these down here, you really don't, I don't think you're going to need these. But the one that does sometimes prove helpful is AVI Mux. Now what this does, and I don't use it anymore, so just giving you some warning, is you take one of your video files, and in this case, this would be tonight's episodes that I just recorded an hour or two ago, 7 Days to Die. You click that, and open it, and basically what you do is you set a destination file, and what it ends up doing is when you first play, and I mentioned this just a little bit ago, when you first play the video after you record it, it's recorded to 2 audio tracks, remember? So if you go to play it in, say, Windows Media Player, which I don't really prefer it, you do, but if you do it in some player, you'll only hear one track. Either it'll be just the game audio or just the voice. What AVI Mux does is it takes those 2 audio tracks and puts them together. So you have one video with one audio track. It's combined from the 2 audio tracks. Okay? This is helpful when you do video editing. If you have a video editor, say like Windows Movie Maker or something of that nature, that can't handle doing multi-audio track recordings, you'll want to use AVI Mux to mux your video to combine the audio tracks so you can edit it. Now, I'm going to show you what I do with Adobe Premiere, where I don't need to do this anymore, but I'll show you that a little later. Now, I don't need this right now because I've done recorded all my episodes this week. So we'll close that. I'm going to go to my video directory, and here we are. Now, this video right here, this is us right now. This is you and me, right there. Okay, so these are my episodes, all 5 for next week. So as you see, I got this episode and this episode of 7 Days to Die multiplayer and my solo play. These are the directories I have them stored in. These are from the last episodes that I recorded of these. So this is what would be tomorrow's episode of the multiplayer of 7 Days to Die, and this will be this last Friday's episode of my solo play. Okay, so here's what I do. And I kind of do leave these behind for one reason. It makes it a lot easier to set up directories to store these guys in. So since these are my solo play episodes, I'm going to come up here. I'm going to copy. Let's see if I can get that. Oop. There we go. So copy that. I can either right click or I just go Control C, and then I come down here, new folder, Control V, boom, drops it in there. So I will change the dates, because if you can see right here, this is the date and the time that these have been recorded. So that helps me keep track of when I recorded my videos. So February 25th, this is the latest episode. So well, actually we'll do this because I just changed the date. Copy. Okay, so now all I have to do, come up here, put in the number. New folder, Control V. Next number is 105. New folder, Control V. 106. New folder, Control V. 7. And the last one, new folder, Control V. 108. Simple as pie. It gets it done pretty damn quick because I've done this so many damn times. So just slide these into their appropriate folders, and there we go. So now we'll come up to 104. Now here is something, if you don't mux your audio, this is what the video will sound like. I use GOM Player. Okay, this is the part where I do my intro, but do you hear it? No, this is the game audio track. So I ain't gonna spoil it, okay? So now if I go right click, and this is for GOM Player, which this is what I generally use to watch all my videos, and as well as TV shows, movies, etc. There is, let's see, where is it? Audio, stream, select stream. Audio 1 and 2. So this right here, and you might not have this in Windows Media Player or whatever video player you use, but Audio 1 is the game audio. Audio 2 is me audio. So we'll start back at the beginning.
Greetings, minions,
and there we are.
survivalists, and fellow gamers.
See, now you have the 2 different tracks, right? And it's the video, but you can't hear one without the other, right? I mean, what's a YouTube video if you only hear half of it? Okay, so here's what we do. Right click, extract audio stream. So this will take a second, but what it's doing is it's taking the audio from the video, both tracks, and making them into WAV files, which is like the ancestor to MP3s. So this here will be the game audio, and this here will be my voice, or if you're recording, your voice. if you have this thing set up like I do. Okay, so originally, naturally the video will automatically have the game audio. It's missing your voice audio, so we don't need the game audio. It's automatically built into the video, so we'll delete that. So all I need is ST1, which is track 2 essentially, and the video. Now the next thing I do when I edit these videos is I go through here. I know what I've done mostly.
Greetings, minions,
And-
survivalists,
and
and
let's see, I'll
fellow
just
gamers.
go
This
A.
is Silverblade playing 7 days.
Okay. So basically what I do, and this is how I get my thumbnails. I don't do clickbait. I don't do fancy titles. Not to say that fancy titles are a bad thing. I don't do clickbait. But I do my thumbnails from within the video itself. Shocking, isn't it? It's revolutionary, isn't it? No. It's just simpler for me. It's not false advertising. And you can go in here and find some pretty damn funny sections sometime. Especially when it comes to, like, a zombie's head exploding. But I'll go through here, and usually I'm playing it, so I'm hearing the context of the story. What I'm doing in the episode. So in this episode, which will be my Monday episode, which will probably be out, well, it'll be out before this video that you're watching now comes out. I am raiding an army base in Navezgane. So I don't want to spoil it for those who may not have already seen it. But I can use the controls of the player itself to use the left and right cursor keys to kind of skip through. Now, like I said, I normally would watch the video to get context of what's being said, what's being done, what's going on, and that will remind me what the episode is, and that gives me the title for my episode. So we'll check this out. Boom. But there's more. Here comes the United Nations troops. All 2 of them. So, let's see. What's it? We can go through here frame by frame. Whoops, I want to shift the audio. So that kind of looks cool. I mean, it kind of tells you what's in the episode. I was like, oh, there's zombies here, right? And if you are familiar with the army base, you know that this is the army base, right? So what I do is with GOM player only. I don't know how this works with like VLC or any other player. But see, this is the full screen. If I can get it to do it. Maybe it won't because I'm recording. Okay, it's not going to do it because I'm recording. Anyways, I go Control E, and it just kind of skipped ahead a little bit, but it took a snapshot. Now what I'm going to do is open up another Explorer window. So another Windows key and E. Go to my documents, go to GOM player, capture, and then I will check out the picture. Now you can't see it because it was on my other monitor, but this is what my thumbnail would look like. I'm okay with that. I could think of about 1,000 better looking pictures than this for a thumbnail, but it is from the video. It's not misleading. Who knows? People might be going, oh, there's zombies in this. This looks cool. All right. Who knows? Either way, that's going to be my thumbnail. So I'm going to shift this back over to my other monitor so it doesn't interrupt my regular flow. So I will come over here. I will cut. I will come back. I will Alt and Tab back in the directory of our video, and I will paste it in. Now I usually change the name of my I double clicked it. I usually change the name to like Screen 1. And if I could spell it right, Screen 1. So this way I know that this is my thumbnail, and it doesn't get confused with these file names here. Alright, so we got that. Now we have game name, date, season, episode number, but we don't have a title. Alright, so we've been to the Army base before, so I'm just going to say Army base reloaded, because essentially that's what I did. Sometimes I give it, interesting little titles, but it relates to what's going on in the video. Because I don't like to be misleading. I don't want to steer anyone astray, and I just think that's just kind of cheesy and cheap. I want to earn my subs. So I try to be as brutally honest as I can. And the reason why I can't save that right yet is because I still got the video open in that folder. So we'll try this again. Army base reloaded. Boop, done. Now I'm going to pause the video for me anyway, and I'm going to skip ahead because I'm going to go through and do all these other episodes like I just did. Again, I'll be coming through here, extract audio stream. I'll go through, I'll delete the 0 track, ST0. I'll go through the video, look at what's in it, find my thumbnail, and then name my video, or at least the folder for my video. So go there and delete that. Go in. So I'll go through here and do all this off camera. I just, if you need a refresher, just scroll it back, rewind back and watch this section again, and hopefully that'll explain it. If not, leave some questions in the comments section. So hold on, I will be right back. Okay, and I am back. So I went through, I've renamed all my episodes, I've done all my screenshots, I've split the audio tracks on each one of these, as you can see. Took me no more than 5-10 minutes really. So now, with that done, I'm going to show you a trick with Adobe Premiere. At least a trick that I use anyway. So get it opened up. And I already have a preset template that I made to do my videos. And I'll explain how this goes. Alright, so we've all seen, hopefully we've all seen my intro. And let's see if I can get it. Well, we'll just start right here. So you're all familiar with this.
With Silverblade.
Okay, so that's my intro. Now here around the 30-minute mark is my outro and title card. So we could, there we go. Fades in. After about 10 seconds, then it will go to my outro video clip. There you go. Okay, so here's what I do to get all 5 of my episodes rendering one right after another. So I don't have to sit here, start a render of one, wait 30 minutes or better, then do another one, and then do another one. And this technique, which is different than what I was doing with Windows Movie Maker, I can do all 5 of my videos for the week, all in one sitting, save it in the media encoder. It'll just go right down the list. Episode 104, 105, 106, 107, as they are done. And it's just simple and sweet. So here's what I do. Now first, we're going to start with sequence 1. Now all these videos, these sequences, they're all the same. It's got the same intro, same outro. Alright, so we'll go import. Alright, this is the episode that I last rendered, I think. Yeah, that was the multiplayer with me, Hal, and Sharky. So what I'll do is I'll come down to this here, and I'm going to grab this file and this file. Click open, and right there they are. They're all already highlighted. So what I'm going to do now is boop, put them in sequence 1. Then I go over here to sequence 2. Import, and I'll go to the next episode. Grab that one and that one. And I go to each tab like this on purpose so I keep track of which one I'm doing. So that's sequence 2, sequence 2. Import. Put this one in this one. That's sequence 3, sequence 4, import episode 4. Ba-boom, sequence 5, import. And this is a longer episode, so it's a Horde Night episode, so it's going to take a lot longer because it was a longer video. So sequence 5. Okay, so now we go back up to sequence 1 over here and over here. Now this is what I do for each one. This here is the video. It's got the audio and video track, but it's the game audio and video track. Okay, you got that? This is my voice audio track. I will drag this down here and try to get them to line up. If you're not sure, I've done this so many times it's brain numbing. But if you're not sure, you can zoom in. Let's see if we can scroll into right here. Okay, see they're lined up. Now at this point here is where I'm going to put in one of my transitions, and that's that fade in that I do. If you watch here, okay, it might be glitchy because I'm recording this video at the same time. Okay, there you go.
Greetings, minions, survivalists, and fellow gamers.
And this has got both my audio and game audio.
This is Silverblade.
Let's see, we can fast forward a little bit to a part where there's both types of audio, so you can tell.
I'm a bit clumsy. Perhaps it's because I've been playing too much Empyrean lately.
So you hear the splashing in the water and my voice. So this way you know both audio tracks are working. So now I come down to this part. I gotta put the end card and my outro video. So, whoops, I grabbed it wrong. So, Control Z to undo my screw up. So I got to click that, hold Shift, and click that. So they're both selected. This is the audio track for the outro. Click in the middle, drag. I want the audio track equal with the game audio track right here. And this time it might need to be a little bit testy because for some reason my voice audio tracks is like 1/10 of a second longer than the actual video. It's just weird like that. But anyways, this is how I overcome it. And I squeeze it in there. Now you see there's a gap in between. Don't want no gaps. So do that. Apply default transitions. This gives me an error every time, but it's never been a problem anytime I've seen it. Okay, it's got to render. That's probably why it's slowing down a little bit. So,
And now the countdown till morning.
and there you go. So that video is officially edited. I know it's brain dead simple, right? But this isn't the only video. So now we got the same, more of the same. Okay. I'm going to do this as quickly as I can, as I usually do it. So this one was a shorter video. So I'll click that. Shift and click that. Just kind of bring the tracks together. Got a gap, so I want to pinch it together. Right click, apply transition, and that video is done. You see how quickly that took me? Okay, so now we go to sequence 3. Now I can proof this.
Greetings, minions.
Because really the only thing I've edited was the ends.
See you later. Twitch.
Simple as cake, right? Sequence 3. Got my video. Got my audio. Pop in transition. Come back here to the end. I want to put my marker there. Whoops. Just kind of scroll this together. That. Drag. Kind of snap it on there. Zoom in. And drag it over. It's not doing it right. There we go. And see, it bridges, so that works out. Let's bridge there. Okay, so now we'll go on to sequence 4. Snap the video in. Snap the audio in. Default transition. Now this one I want to check because I think it might have glitched on that. I can visually see, because it crosses both video tracks, or video segments rather, that it's okay. So I'll go here, here, bring that audio track up, snap there, apply default transition, and this one is done. Sequence 5. Drop in the video. Now this is a longer one. Put the default transition there. I'll come back this way. I kind of have to be careful to grab that and move them out here. I gotta make room because, like I said, it's a longer episode. Okay, grab them, drag them, snap, get that gap out of there, apply default transitions. Okay, so this is quick and easy. I mean, as you saw, it just took just a couple minutes. In fact, if I wasn't explaining it, I actually do a bit quicker than that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go right back to sequence 1. Now this is where the rendering part comes in. Alright, so with this window down here, as I have set the timeline is highlighted, I will hit Control and M. It brings me up this. So what I do first is entire sequence for the source range. I have a preset custom 720p for YouTube thing here, and you can see the video settings right here: 30 frame rate, progressive, square pixels, NTSC, profile high, level 4.0. I do VBR 1 pass. You can do 2 if you want higher quality, but it means a bigger file or a slower rendering. I can't remember which. And these are the bit rates that I use, and it tends to work out fairly decently. If you increase the bit rate, you'll have a bigger file, but you have better quality as well. And this is my audio settings as recommended by YouTube's website. So that's all good to go. Now I click this, use maximum render quality. Just in case it didn't look good already, I do this. It might lengthen the rendering time by just a little bit, but I barely notice any marked difference. So here's what I do after that. We got the preset, we got that in, then I come up to output name. So this is why I keep the last episode, which is Trader Joel's Bad Customers, as an episode up here, because I'm going to copy that episode name. So we're in Army Base Reloaded. I will come down here and I'm going to edit this part out. I'm going to change the date. And if you forget, you just look up here at your episode, at your folder title. This is why I do folder titles with my date, episode number, and the name. So I recorded that on the 25th of February. This is episode 104. And it is titled Army Base Reloaded. Now, if I really want to be super fancy, I will do this. I'll take out the episode number, but leave in the date and leave out the title. And then I will go Control C. So now it's on the clipboard in memory. So now I can just go back, do that. And there's a reason why I do this. You'll see why in a minute. Army Base Reloaded. That's what it was. Okay, so 7 Days to Die, Season 5, Episode 104, Alpha 15, Army Base Reloaded, 02-25-17. Save. Now this is the fun part. Q. Alright, so it's exporting data. It's going to show up on my other monitor that you won't see right yet. And I'll swing it over so you can see. And right there is the Q so far for the episode. So I'm going to leave it on that screen for now for that. Okay, so sequence 2. I don't need to go into that. We'll click down here, Control M, entire sequence, custom 720p, use maximum render quality, output name. So we'll go to its actual directory, which is this episode right here. Highlight that, and then Control V. And as you remember, I left out part of the episode number and the title. So now I just type in 5, and then thicker skin and mines. All good. All good, all good, all good, all good. And then I'll cue it. And boop, there it goes for that one. Sequence 3, same thing. Entire sequence, custom, render. Now you might want to do this a little bit different for your own videos, but this is how I do it and do it pretty damn quick. So I'll go back to the directory. That's the title of that one. Control V, episode number 106. And rub a little dirt on it. Save. Everything's in order. Queued it up. Boop. There we go. Sequence 4. That's highlighted. Control M. Entire sequence. Custom. Use maximum. Go to the directory. Highlight. Control V. Episode 107. See if I can get that lined up in there. Yeah. Save. Queued it up. Boop. That one's done. Sequence 5. Control M. Entire sequence. Up. Go to the last episode. Control V. That will be episode 108. The day 49 Horde. Make sure I don't have too many spaces in there. And cue it up. So now what I do next is I got all 5 of my episodes all queued up to be rendered. So what I'll do next is I'll go File, Save As. Now I have the template that I'm using right now, the project template that I'm using right now, is this one here, Neo Main Sequence Adobe 111. This is the one that doesn't have the episodes in it. It just has the intro and the outro and title card. So I want to save the one, this version that has the video in it. So I save it to Neo 2, and it's going to save over it. Okay, so now watch this. Oop, I closed it. Okay, and now all I have to do is hit Start Queue, and as you see, it's going to be playing these videos. It looks like it's playing in slow motion, but what it is actually doing, it is rendering it's blending the audio together, both game audio and my voice audio, combining the intro, the actual video, and then later the title card and outro. It's blending it all together as a regular episode, and it'll end up as one file. It's really that simple. So I'm going to pause this for now, because I'm going to come back to that after I'm done recording this. Let's see if I can shrinky-dink it down. Alright, so hopefully that helps you out in how I do things. It shows you what I do. And see, we'll go back to that screen. Alright. Recording is brain dead easy. Almost too easy. Editing, it varies by software. Okay? Now, if you stay to the very end of this, I'm going to let you in on a secret about Adobe Premiere. How you can get it for free. It's not piracy. It's not anything illegal. It's just exploiting a little file quirk about it. Okay, so well, let's just get to it now, shall we? All right, so I have here this shortcut. Let me get back to the main monitor screen here. Sorry about that. I sometimes forget what I'm doing. All right, so I have this application shortcut, right? All right, so I'm just going to go to Properties and Open File Location. So, installed on my Windows 7, in Program Files, Adobe Pro CC2017, which you can download for free as a trial. And you get like 7 days trial. You have to sign up through Adobe. It's free. Don't worry about that part. But what you do, this is what I do, is I go through here and I look up Program Files, Adobe Premiere Pro CC2017, and go to the AMT directory. Scroll down until you get to application.xml. Now what I did is I downloaded a program called Notepad++. It's just a XML editing version of Notepad. So I'll right click, edit with Notepad. Now if you record and you run at the end of your 7-day trial, what you do is you open up this file with Notepad++, and you come in here and you look for this segment here. It says on the end here it says trial serial number, and this long ass digit, which is like more numbers than there are actually people on the friggin' planet. Okay, so your trial's over, right? You've done your 7 days. Oh crap, should I uninstall and reinstall, which will also reactivate the trial? So it's not illegal that way. I mean, it just takes longer. So what you do is you go in here, you find this long ass number right here, and you change the last number. What I do is I just go up a number, and then when you get to 0, you go over to the number next to it, up that. So you're just constantly increasing that number. You save, you exit, you restart Adobe Premiere, and guess what? You got a new 7-day trial for free. Now, you could say that's illegal. I would say it's an exploit of the program. Maybe Adobe is actually being generous in a sense too, because I mean, after all, I used to download it, install it, use it, and then when the trial ran out, I'd uninstall it and then reinstall it again. I used the same login to Adobe, so it's not like they didn't know. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, it could be a little bit legally, but you could pay $20 a month for continued use of Adobe Premiere. This, you're using their trial. You could either do it the quick way like I just showed with changing the application.xml, or you can uninstall and reinstall it and you get the same effect. So the fault is on Adobe for that. But anyway, that will help you get Adobe Premiere CC 2017 for free for constant use. At some point, I do plan on paying for it because I do think that Adobe Premiere is a great bit of software. Just I can't afford it right now. I am not making nearly enough with YouTube and etc. to afford it. If worse comes worse, I'll just go back to Windows Movie Maker, which isn't exactly pretty, but I can do that. So now that I've done incriminating myself and possibly leading others to temptation and not delivering you from evil, I hope that this little tutorial thing helps you out in getting started in making videos, in editing videos, uploading videos. I think I covered that in my video that I did a year ago, so you may want to review that. It's really brain dead easy. You may want to look into, well, let me show you. One thing you might want to do, and my channel. Okay, yeah. You get the recent activities, uploads, past live streams, playlists. I used to have it where it'd be like Empyrean season whatever, 7 Days to Die season whatever, but I just put them down into playlists. If you're just starting out on YouTube, before you even worry about a banner, worry about the order of things down here. You want people to be able to see what you got, and you want people to see the variety of that you got. So, like right here, this is an older episode. No, actually, that's a new episode, so it's going backwards. This shows people the most recent this way, and yeah, it looks nice. It's actually kind of easy to set up. Add a section, select content. Any one of these categories that suits you. I do like playlists or something like that. And then I also have it set with keywords so that when I do an episode of 7 Days to Die Alpha 15, if it has Alpha 15 in it, it'll automatically put a video in this playlist. Same thing with MechWarrior, Empyrean, or any of these other games that I've played over the past. It'll automatically do that for me, which is nice because I like to keep the seasons together and stuff like that. So that might be something you might want to get kind of acquainted with, get adjusted with. You can do this in any number of ways that you want. And you know, if this looks good and looks like you've got plenty of stuff there and it's organized, I think people will be more inclined to check out your other stuff. And if all else fails, they'll go to the videos tab and look at all of this. You know, it goes back, well, for me, almost 2 years now. Excuse me. So, yeah, somewhere in here I have my video that I did to show how to get into this. And if I don't have it linked in this video, I'll have it in a category, like right down here, for non-in-game stuff or something to that effect. It'll have like 3 videos right up there for you to see, at least at this point in time. Okay, so I hope that this has been helpful to you guys. I hope that it helps you gets a channel started, or at least just making videos for fun for your own private use. You know, let me know if you do get a channel started, if I've helped you. If you have questions, let me know. If I can't answer them, I know people who can. I just want to see people get started and have fun with this and see what kind of crazy ideas people come up with for a channel. One suggestion I would have is study the masters. Study the successful ones. Study the fail ones. Learn both sides of both. The successful ones at the top have had their failures. Learn from them, but learn from the successes. If you emulate success, you are more likely to have success. The other thing is you're not going to be PewDiePie overnight. Okay? it's a slow grind. I've been at this for almost 2 years now, and I'm at 350 subscribers, a little over that. I've had over 800 videos, and I'm perfectly happy where I'm at right now with that slow growth. I saw how Grandma Shirley went from practically zero, to over 100,000 in a very, very short time, and that's overwhelming, and that would probably make my head explode. How she handled it, well, she did it with awesomeness, of course, but you know, don't expect that to happen. But grow naturally. Enjoy the pace of it. Enjoy learning from it. Learn from others. Do not criticize if you don't know what it's like. Learn from others. Ask questions of others. We're a community. Grab everybody in. Be friendly. Learn. Share. Enjoy. Have fun. So enough of that psychobabble bullshit from me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope this has been helpful. And until next time, see you later. Twitch, twitch.